Get out, you worthless failure. We never should have wasted money raising you. That was the last sentence my father ever screamed at me before I walked out forever. I'm Ariana, and if you've ever been told you'd amount to nothing by the people who are supposed to love you most, keep listening. This is the story of how I became a multi-million-dollar empire they now beg to enter, and why the gates stay locked. It started over Sunday lunch, the kind of tense family ritual we pretended was normal. I'd flown in wearing ripped jeans and a hoodie, nothing flashy, just to share what I'd been building quietly for years. AI-driven investment platforms, commercial real estate flips, and a silent stake in a lending app that was quietly exploding across the Southeast. My father laughed before I finished the first sentence. Dropped out of university to play on your laptop in coffee shops? That's not a career. That's a hobby for losers. My mother didn't even look up from her plate. You'll be crawling back in 6 months when the money runs out. Mark my words. I felt the room shrink. The air turned to glass. I pushed my chair back, stood up, and said the only thing that felt true. Watch me. They laughed harder as the door shut behind me. What they didn't know, what nobody knew, was that 3 days earlier I'd quietly closed a 9-figure partnership with a Silicon Valley hedge fund. The coffee shop scam they mocked was already valued north of $300 million. I didn't go home to cry. I went home to my penthouse overlooking Biscayne Bay and kept building. For weeks later the phone started ringing. First it was polite, then frantic, then outright panicked. Their retirement portfolio had collapsed in a fraud scandal. The bank was foreclosing on the house they swore I'd never be good enough to visit. Suddenly the daughter they'd thrown away looked like their only lifeline. I let every call go to voicemail. I was too busy signing term sheets for my next 8-figure raise and hiring the architect for my glass house on the water. Then they showed up unannounced at my building's lobby. The concierge called. "Miss Voss, there's an older couple downstairs insisting they're family." I watched them on the security feed, dad pacing, mom clutching a tissue like a white flag. They looked small against the marble and ocean view they once swore I'd never earn. "Tell them I'm permanently unavailable," I said, and hung up. My little brother tried next. We hadn't spoken since he'd sided with them at Christmas, calling my work fake internet money. "Ari, they're drowning. Just help them this once." "They're sorry." I asked him one question. If their investments had doubled instead of disappearing, would they have called to say they were proud? Silence.
Exactly.
I sent one final email, short, surgical, final. "You taught me I was worthless. I believed you long enough to prove you wrong on my own. I forgive you." Forgiveness, however, does not come with keys. Find your own way. Ariana. The magazine cover dropped a month later. Forbes 30 Under 30. The dropout who built a $400 million empire barefoot. The photo. Me on my terrace at sunrise, linen shirt, no shoes, coffee in one hand, the Atlantic glittering behind me. Headline underneath. She was told she'd never make it. Now her own parents can't get past security. The article went viral. Old classmates slid into DMs. Exes pretended they'd never ghosted. My parents' church friends started whispering at potlucks. My aunt texted me a screenshot of their family group chat. They're saying we abused her for clout. She's humiliating us.
No.
You humiliated yourselves. I just stopped hiding the receipts. They sent one last handwritten letter, delivered by courier, because I'd blocked every number. "We were wrong. We're proud now. Can we please come see the house? Just once." I read it on the deck of the new waterfront property I'd bought in cash. 6 bedrooms, infinity pool, the kind of place travel magazines fight to shoot. I folded the letter once, walked to the outdoor fireplace, and watched it burn. Some people think success is the best revenge. They're wrong. Success is the reason revenge becomes unnecessary. I still forgive them. I just do it from the balcony they'll never stand on, sipping coffee they'll never taste, living a life they swore I'd never deserve. And every morning when the sun rises over water I own outright, I raise my mug to the girl they threw away and whisper the only words that matter now. "Look at me." I watched. And I never looked back.